Welcome to Heads, Brain Mode, where we mind our brain and we turn our pain to power, to control, to freedom, to purpose, and improve the relationship we have with ourselves, with others, with the world, and with God. My name is Nelson Saito. I'm a psychological counselor, and today I want to talk to us about rejection. Let's talk about what causes rejection. How does it affect our mental health, how we feel, behave, and think about ourselves, and how we relate with others and ourselves and God and the world. So let's get to it. You can get rejected because of so many reasons. You can get rejected because of your tribe. We know that too well, especially in our country. We know that too well. You can be rejected because your name is associated with a certain tribe, and there are feelings and thoughts and behaviors and prejudice that is attached to that tribe. So you're just rejected because of that. You can be rejected because of your sex or your gender. Just be rejected because you're male or you're female. You can be rejected because of your age, just because you're young and because you're old. You can be rejected because of your skin color, because you're black or because you're white. I hear some people are called yellow, especially Asians. You can be rejected because of your socio-economic status or education status. You're rejected because you're not well educated or you're not educated enough. You can be rejected because you're poor, rejected because of where you live. Sometimes, especially when you're living in the city like in Nairobi, people ask where you live. And then treatment you get is dependent on where you're living or where you come from. The most painful rejection is when you're rejected by family. And you're rejected by family either because you're a niece or a nephew and you're living with your uncle or your aunt, and just because they have sibling rivalry, it is getting down to you. You know people who live with relatives and they are turned to become house helps, and you're overworked. I know so many people can relate to that. The worst one is when you're rejected by a parent. Your mother walks away from you, your father walks away from you. We know a lot about fathers walking away from us, and that is one of the worst bits of rejection. And there's so many other things that causes us to get rejected. Your naturally occurring body, you're rejected because you're tall, rejected because you're short, rejected because you're slim or thin, rejected because you're big or fat. And there are prejudice attached to all those things. So how does this rejection and how does rejection affect your mental health? Number one, rejection makes you feel and think that there is something wrong with you. Number two, rejection makes you feel like you've done or you did or you're doing something wrong. And so you start living life with this big burden on your shoulder, trying to fix yourself for what you think is wrong with you, and you become very sensitive to criticism. So someone can tell you, you can have strife with someone, and someone leaves you and tell you you're weak, or they left you because you're short, and now you feel like God rejects you because you're short, and your parents sinned, that's why you're born short. The world is rejecting you because you're short. Partners and romantic partners will reject you because you're short. You'll not get a job because you're short. You'll not succeed in life because you're short. So you keep constantly trying to fix something that you think is wrong with you or you feel is wrong with you. And then you feel like you need to do something right because everything you do is wrong. So you start this perfectionism just to do everything right so that people don't reject you. I know people who have stopped ascribing to their tribes There are so many people who've stopped ascribing to their race of their skin color. When you talk about bleaching and all that, you just want to be white. And there are people who want to be black, and others fake their age so that they look older, and other people reduce their age so that they look younger. All those things, you're always trying to fix yourself so that you get accepted and don't face the pain of rejection, because rejection is very, very lonely. That is number 3. You feel like there's something wrong with you. You feel like you think like that you did something wrong, and it is very lonely. You feel alone in the world. And that's why some people even commit suicide, because of that feeling of rejection. Like, their thought and their feeling is, even if they die, there'll be no difference. That is such a huge toll on your mental health. So how does it affect your relationships? Relationship you have with yourself, with others. And when I talk about others, it can be your colleagues, it can be your family, it can be your children, it can be your parents, it can be your friends, your social groups, all that. How does it affect it? Now, when it comes to relationship, number 1, you start running away from relationships, and you do not want to form any close relationships with anyone. You become overly introverted. You're good by yourself. I understand that too well. There's a time I was just too tired of people walking away from my life until I made a covenant with my heart, and I was like, I'm never getting attached to anyone or anything. And it's such a lonely life until I broke out from it. It was very lonely. Now, that's number 1. You don't want to form any close relationships with anything or with anyone, because if that thing is taken away from you, or those people reject and leave you, then it's going to really hurt. Number 2, you become very clingy. You become very, very clingy. You always want to be with that thing or with that person. You hover around them. Just look at how, just think about a clingy child. They go with the mother or the father to probably a wedding. Children are out there, they're playing, they're having fun, but this child is with the mother. The mother goes anywhere, this child is with her or his mother. So you become very clingy. You become very clingy to things. You become very clingy to people. You always want to be with them. And people feel choked when you're clingy. And sometimes you're clingy so that you don't get rejected, but clinginess is a sure way of you getting rejected. Number 3, you become very controlling. Super controlling. And that is because you do not want people to leave you. You don't want that rejection. So you become very controlling. And this is how you control people. You control their friends. There are people you don't want them to talk to. I'd never want to see you talking to this person, especially in a romantic relationship, or even in a parent-child relationship, or even friendship, even career. People tell you, I'd never want that person in your life. I don't like the way you're friends with that person. Why? It's not even because that person is wrong or that person is bad, but because that person or those people or that thing is going to separate you from that person or those people. So I don't want you to hang out with those friends because they're going to take you away from me. That's how you feel. So you control people. I don't want you to go to that church because that preaching is going to take you away from me. I don't want you to go to the club, or I don't want you to drink alcohol because alcohol or the club is going to take you away from me. So you become very controlling of who people are with, people do. Why? The people and the activities sometimes are not wrong and they're not bad. It's just because they are threatening to your bond to that person. I know people who are very controlling at work. They control you at work because they do not want to get separated from their job. And now you're coming to this job, you're more educated, you're younger, you're more experienced, you're coming with good, fresh ideas. They will fight you in that job because they don't want to be separated from that job. They don't want that rejection. So someone becomes very controlling and they choke you and they put you in a cage so that you do not leave them. And most importantly, number four hurts. Number four is hard. You become a martyr. You become overly good. You become overly sacrificing. And you say yes to things that you know is going to hurt you. You say yes to things that are going, that you should say no to. You know you should say no, but you end up saying yes. You become something else or someone else to someone that you're not, so that you keep them. So you sacrifice a lot of you, a lot of your heart, a lot of your mind, a lot of your money, a lot of your properties, a lot of your assets that you should not even be sacrificing, but the reason why you're doing it is because you want to maintain that person or those people. So you become a different person to someone or to people so that they don't leave you. And that really hurts. It hurts to be alone and not forming relationships and being afraid of forming relationships. It's so hard to be clingy to someone. You're so clingy to them. You want to talk to them the whole day, the whole night. If you send them a message and they don't reply, you feel like they're rejecting you or they're with someone else, and it makes you feel so afraid. It sucks to be controlling, where you're always controlling everything so that people don't leave you, so that you don't face that rejection. And it hurts when you're not you. You know you're not you in that relationship. You know you're not you in that job. You're not you even in that family. And you feel like you need to sacrifice a lot of who you are and do things that even you cannot do so that you keep a group or a relationship. And you also do that to yourself. You're too controlling to yourself. You're too clingy to who you are, man. Don't even want to share yourself with other people. And it hurts. It's a burden on your mental health. It affects every single bit of your life. You feel like you have to do things to keep people. You have to hide who you are because you feel like who you are, when you expose your authenticity and you expose your truth, people are going to reject you. But one thing I've learned about people, one thing I've learned about human beings appreciate authenticity. It's better to be loved. It's better for you to love me and accept me, knowing my skin color, my tribe, my age, my gender, my negatives, my positives, my dreams, my torments. I feel good when someone accepts me with all that. But when I keep on this, I have to put up a face for you to accept me, then it even is a burden to me because I keep on hiding who I am. So how do you get out of it? How do you deal with rejection? How do you get this freedom? How do we turn this pain to power, to control, to freedom, to purpose? How do we do that? Now, I've always said here, and thank you for everyone who reached out, therapy really helps. But before therapy, let me give you some first aid and some exercises that you can do. If you need help, you can just always reach out to me help you out, of course at a fee. Number one, just get out of your cocoon. Just get out of your cocoon. Form relationships. And let me share what my mentor once told me. Everyone you meet knows something that you do not know. People are walking libraries of experiences and knowledge. Every time I have sessions with my clients, I take notes from them. It might be meaningless. Whatever they say might be meaningless to them, but it's golden to me. I love people's stories. Even though we will interact for 1 hour or 30 minutes, or we'll just meet in a matatu or in an occasion somewhere, in a conference or in a wedding or in a burial, and we share some time, I just open my life to them and I learn so much from them. I learn so much from old people. Old people are amazing. I learn so much from kids. Kids are amazing. I learn so much from people my age and people younger than me. Open yourself up. Meet people. Go out there, meet people, because they are going to teach you a lot. You're going to go places because of just people's experiences. And as you meet people, always know that people are in your life sometimes for a very short reason, for a very short season, and then there are people who will be in our lives forever. Accept that there are people who will be in your life forever, there are people who will be in your life for a season and for a reason. And when that is done, release them, appreciate it, and form new bonds. Don't be afraid of forming relationships. Number two, don't be clingy. Anytime you feel like you need to cling to someone or cling to something, that thing is going to reject you and that someone is going to leave you. Let people be autonomous and be independent, even in a relationship. Be yourself, even in a relationship. Don't be clingy. When you're clingy, people are going to leave you. Now, how do you stop being clingy? Just find your purpose, find your interests, find your what makes you, what is fun to you. Okay? So you can be in a relationship. Your partner loves going out or traveling or being with friends. Probably you are an introverted like me. You're introverted like me and you are dating someone who is extroverted. When they go out to have their fun, find your own fun too. Find your own fun. Find you. Find something that you love doing and you can engage in it. People love people who know why they exist. People love people who know why they are here. People love people who are chasing after something they are passionate about. They are passionate about something. It can be music, it can be art, whatever it is, your career. Find it. Cling to it because it gives you success. Cling to yourself. Don't cling to people or things. Cling to you. Number three, learn that you cannot and can never control anything. You can never control anything. The best that we can do is set structures that makes things go our way. But even when it comes to results, we just hope that the results will be good because of the structures we formed. But we cannot control anything. And when you're dominating and controlling people, they will want their freedom, and people fight for their freedom, and they are going to fight you. Don't control people. Let people, again, be autonomous. You cannot control people. You cannot control things. Do as much as you can to set up structures that will lead you to a desired outcome. Don't feel like you have to do something to someone so that they stay with you, so that they don't leave. So this is the test. Anytime you feel like you have to, Don't. You don't have to control anything, because you can't. You don't have that much authority to control anything, let alone controlling people. And if you're controlling people so that they don't leave you, that control is what is going to make them leave you. Number 4, you don't have to sacrifice yourself. And please do not sacrifice yourself. I know sometimes saying no makes you feel like people are going to leave, but let them leave, because you have a peace of mind. And people respect it when you say no. Don't sacrifice yourself. Don't be a martyr. Don't give things that you can't so that you keep people. If you can't, then you can't. Don't even explain it. When someone asks you for money, for example, just come to you and ask you for money. If you can't give them, just say you can't. It's like, hey, can you help me with this and this amount, because I'm a bit tight. If I don't have the money, I'll just tell you, I don't have the money. I'm sorry, I can't help you. Don't even go to explaining. Sometimes people explain it too much. It's like, oh, my mom has been sick. I've been sorting out her meds, and I've just sent her some money, and that's the reason why I don't have. You don't need to explain anything. If you can't, you can't. If something comes up and someone asks you to do something and you have the authority and the power to say no, just say no. Don't explain it. People respect that. But the moment someone knows that they can use your goodness and your kindness to benefit themselves, it's going to really hurt you. Do not sacrifice yourself for someone else. Do not be a martyr to someone else. If you can say no, say no. Say yes when you know you're saying yes in peace and you can do it. But if you know you can't, just say no. Number 6, which is very, very important. Very important. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. Remember I said rejection makes you feel like something is wrong with you and you did something wrong. There is nothing wrong with you. Any person who hates you or rejects you because of your naturally occurring created self, then they have a problem. Anyone who rejects you because of your tribe, because of your skin color, because of your sex or your gender, because of your height, because of your body, anyone who rejects you because of that is the same as someone who rejects the clouds for being white and for being gray. It's like someone who hates the sun for being bright. It's like someone who hates the sky for being blue. It's like someone hating water for being 2 hydrogen molecule and 1 oxygen molecule. Is it atom or molecule? Whatever it is. Anyone who hates you because of your natural appearance, they have a problem. So what am I supposed to do? You hate me because my skin is black. So what am I supposed to do? Go bleach so that then you love me? You hate me because I'm a man. So what am I supposed to do? Go and change my genitals? You hate me because I come from this tribe. I come from Africa. I come from Kenya. Then you hate me because of that. So what am I supposed to do? Go back to my mother's womb and take them to your country so that they give birth to me from your country? You have a problem. The person who hates you for being naturally you is like someone who comes to you and tells you, I hate the way the grass is green. That person has a problem. There's nothing wrong with you. Anyone who rejects you because of your naturally occurring self, that is their problem. All right? Finally, you did nothing wrong. And let me tell this to anyone who faced rejection when they were young. Your father walked away from you. Your mother walked away from you. People treated you wrong, abused you, when you're young and you feel like the world is an unsafe place and people are unsafe, you did nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong that you did that caused your father to walk away from you, or caused your mother to walk away from you, or even caused them to die, or to separate, or to divorce. You did nothing wrong that caused you to get abused and caused you to get rejected. You did nothing wrong. I am helping so many people now get away from their father pains and their mother pains. And one of the things that now we are realizing is that, let me even now talk to men, some men that are called, some men that are called deadbeat. They call you deadbeat dads, and you hate your father because you think he's a deadbeat. Now we are realizing that so many cases, the fathers tried for years to be in this child's life, but the mother did not want, and the mother's family did not want. And I meet so many people now who are pressurizing and who are pressuring their mothers to meet their fathers, and the mothers don't want. All along, the father was not present in your life because of your mom. Sometimes your dads are not deadbeat. Sometimes it's just your mom's fault. As I always say, the real story is the story behind the story. And sometimes when I help individuals know why their fathers or why their mothers were absent, they realize that they did nothing wrong. So remember that. There's nothing wrong with you. You did nothing wrong. Do not sacrifice yourself. Don't be a martyr. That's not your responsibility. And no one sent you here to be sacrificial to someone else. Do not control everything because you do not have that much authority to control. Anytime you feel like you have to so that people stay in your life, stop. Don't be too clingy. Don't be attaching yourself to people. Find your purpose. Find your work. Find what thing you love and engage in it. Is it cycling? Is it playing? Whatever it is. And don't be afraid of forming close relationships, because you're going to learn a lot from people's stories. I hope this video sheds some light to your pain, and it helps turn your pain to power, especially for you understanding rejection and how it affects your mental health and how it affects your relationships. Please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel because there are amazing materials in this channel. Please share this video, especially with people who come to you and they tell you, I feel rejected. Just put it on your wall, put it on your status. You never know whom it will touch, because I know so many people are suffering from this, and this is going to really, really help them. And thank you guys so much for your support and tuning in until now. And until next time, mind your brain. And I hope I'm helping you to mind your brain. Turn your pain to power, to control, to freedom, to purpose. And until next time, keep it heads, keep it brain mode.